deserve better, viewers. India deserves better. That's the hashtag that we have. And viewers, this next story is also something akin to this. It's about justice, about the calls for justice being dismissed, about an incident being dismissed, about viewers, people writing, talking, capturing that incident being dismissed as propagandists. But today, viewers, in a strange twist, some vindication for a film which has been ridiculed and reviled as a vulgar propaganda. Today, Kashmir Files, which portrays the Hindu genocide in Kashmir, has been shortlisted, at least in the preliminary shortlist, as one of India's 5 entries to the Oscars. Making the announcement, its director, Vivek Agnihotri, says it's a great year for Indian cinema. The reason why this movie has made a splash or has struck a chord is due to the vicious attack it faced by the ecosystem, which dismissed it as an attempt to demonize one community in Kashmir. It was blamed for twisting facts, distorting history, and sparking anger. This attack came despite the victims of the Hindu hate attacks hailing this movie as a timely reminder to people that they were not only discriminated on the back of their religion, but also, viewers, because they never got justice. I spoke to Mr. Vivek Agnihotri earlier in the day, and in this interaction, he called this a vindication. Listen into this. If it doesn't make it, do you think it will be because of the fact that not enough people galvanize themselves to lobby? Or would it be some other reason once again?
See, lobbying is all about money. Anybody who knows America or Oscars, they know it's all lobbying. You have to employ PR companies, marketing companies, social media companies. But I have understood the game. Next time we will address it differently. But right now, I don't want to think beyond this, that yes, now at least in India, nobody will be able to call it from a government stage that it's propaganda and vulgar, because that would be a big slap to all these people.
You know, when you get something, a recognition of this magnitude, then you sort of just want to ignore those people, number one. Number two, I think they wanted to get their 15 minutes of fame by criticizing something which was big, which was very issue-based, which was about the genocide and the tragedy of Kashmiri Pandits. So I think they got their 15-minute film, but I'm sure at the end, truth triumphs.
Mr. Agnihotri, the Kashmir Files has made it to the reminder list of 301 films shortlisted for Oscars. Now, what exactly does this mean?
I don't know. See, a lot of people in the film industry, Indian film industry, feel that I am naive and I don't know much about cinema. But one thing I know, that these people treat Oscar as the apex body of cinema. So any validation from Oscar, the Academy, is like you are the finest filmmakers. And these people have been calling it a propaganda film, a vulgar film, and all kinds of vicious campaigns they were running against it. So this validation simply means that their temple of cinema has accepted it as an okay film and not a propaganda film.
That's interesting. Not that Indian filmmakers like yourself need a certificate from anybody for retelling the story of a very, very sad, tragic chapter in contemporary Indian history. But you say that this will be a vindication. The love of the people is a vindication in any case. The fact that so many Indians watch this movie, so many people abroad have watched this movie. Do you believe that winning an Oscar or even being nominated for one or even being shortlisted for one is a very, very important marker in the evolution of the story of this movie, which will put it in the same list as, let's say, Schindler's List, which epitomized or depicted the story of the Jewish Holocaust?
See, as I understand, the campaign is not against me. The campaign is against the truth of Kashmiri Hindu genocide, which they had been hiding for a long time. You are from Kashmir, you know it very well, your family has been there. It's a truth nobody can deny. But these people have been using various tools and techniques of narrative building to keep it on the side so that nobody else is able to see it. For the first time, a film as a soft power, we have used it for diplomatic narrative, and we have gone all over the world and told people that this is the longest continuous genocide of Hindus in Kashmir by religious terrorism. And this is the truth they wanted to hide. And they thought, a lot of filmmakers in India, if you know, 6 months ago they said this film should never go for Oscars. Why? I want to ask them why it should not go. Because they have been party to covering up this truth against Hindu genocide. So being shortlisted in Oscar means that at least it is being recognized that this event took place. And I think this itself is a moment of satisfaction for me.
But there are still people who say that, okay, you have been shortlisted, etc., but this is not an endorsement of the facts, the content of the movie. It could still be deemed fictitious, like, you know, how certain people who were appointed by the central government to be the jury head of IFI, Nadav Lapid, had said that it was a crude, manipulative and violent propaganda film.
We need to ask him, who should we believe? The Oscar shortlisting or his personal comments? So this is an answer they have to give. I believe in an old saying, when the sun shines, darkness doesn't matter. So first, the love of the people, the recognition by various policymakers of the world, in the Capitol Hill, in British Parliament, in many other places, recognition by human rights organizations. It recently won a human rights award. It's recently been got another award for in the humanity or human rights, in another award. So these are the kind of things which are happening with the film. Have you ever seen any film in India which released in March and we are sitting in February, January today, and still being is part of the mainstream discussion, which means the film has found its own soul, it's found its own life, and if it is not based on truth, nothing can find its soul and life.
So let me ask you, how do you see your chances now going forward? This is a kind of preliminary shortlist, for the lack of a better word. It's called technically a reminder list of 301 films. Iske baad, is process mein, what happens next?
See, I am told that for Oscar you have to do lobbying, and lobbying is legal in America, if you know. And it's a big money game and time game. You have to spend a lot of time there, do a whole lot of things. You have to employ lots and lots of millions of dollars. I am busy shooting the vaccine war. Right now I am speaking to you from my sets. I will be busy with this for next 6 months until I release it on 15th of August. Already people are against me making this film. So I have moved forward. I leave it to the hands of the Almighty. मैं ईश्वर के हाथ में छोड़ता हूँ. अगर फिल्म में ताकत होगी तो आगे बढ़ेगी, नहीं होगी तो नहीं बढ़ेगी. लेकिन यहाँ तक पहुँचना itself, I think, is a I think it's my gratitude to Kashmiri Hindus and the rest of Indians who ran this campaign for a long time, and they kept fighting the vicious campaign and the sinister politics of urban naxals who were trying to kill this movie or destroy this movie.
My final question, if it doesn't make it, do you think it will be because of the fact that not enough people galvanize themselves to lobby, or would it be some other reason once again?
See, lobbying is all about money. Anybody who knows America or Oscars, they know it's all lobbying. You have to employ PR companies, marketing companies, social media companies. You have to employ lobbyists, professional lobbyists. Recently, I was called for Golden Globe, and I met lots of people who met me. They were professional lobbyists. It's a legal job in America, not like India. And neither do I have time for that, nor do we have that kind of money and muscle. But I have understood the game. Next time we will address it differently. But right now, I don't want to think beyond this, that yes, now at least in India, nobody will be able to call it from a government stage that it's propaganda and vulgar, because that would be a big slap to all these people.
Well, thank you, Mr. Agnihotri. Thank you very much. Best of luck. Hopefully, this film will also impact the conscience of those who are going to be the jury members of the Oscars, and will leave them with no option but to shortlist it further. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Agnihotri.